Welcome to Spotlight Gulf Coast, a weekly showcase of people and events across South Mississippi. Sponsored by the IP Casino Resort and Spa, Mississippi Power Company, Wykert Realtors Gulf Properties, and Butch Ostolet Autoplex.
Hi everyone, this is Todd Trenchard, Executive Director of the Abigail Foundation of South Mississippi, welcoming you to another segment of Spotlight Gulf Coast. Each week we're coming into your living room talking about what's going on all across South Mississippi, and we want to thank our sponsors for this generous opportunity. Today we have, of course, Amanda Ray. Amanda, appreciate you coming on the show. And
it's always good to be here. Very excited today for our guest.
And we have another smiling face, Miss Leslie Sue.
Yes, glad to be here. Thank you.
I know y'all both just enjoyed Renaissance the Runway, and I know, Leslie, you were sort of like one of the highlights of the evening. I mean, y'all didn't just come walk out, y'all did a little routine.
Yep, whether I liked it or not, we did a routine, practiced a couple hours and went out and did it. It was a great time, a lot of fun.
It really was.
We're going to see if we can up it next year.
I know that when I got the call from Christina asking if she could do, something in it, we started thinking, and Kelly, but that really did add a little flavor to it. And what a great event, that you can come out and just take off the work face and have a little fun, raise money for the community.
Exactly. Y'all always do a great job. It was a great pleasure to be there.
Well, I think from there that sort of led to us, getting to talk a little bit more, about something that you're involved with. And that's, what I wanted to talk about today, because we're trying to talk a little bit about how our communities get together and get involved. So let's talk a little bit about that. Tell us about the program.
So I am head of Blessings in a Backpack, and we serve school children in Harrison County, many in Gulfport. We operate out of Trinity United Methodist Church on Lawson Avenue in Gulfport. So I started this program in 2010 out of my living room.
Right.
And we saw a need. My sister was actually a teacher at 28th Street Elementary. And so she would call and tell us there was a great need there. Children were coming in Monday morning pretty hungry. So we hatched the idea and kicked off, and we've been doing it ever since. Every school week, while the kids are in school, we send backpacks home at 28th Street Elementary. We've done Three Rivers Elementary before, Pass Road, and we're about to pick up Central Elementary.
I know that when we were talking about this, here you were,
right.
Packing
for Backpack Buddies, in Ocean
So,
Springs. So as soon as I heard that you were involved in this, I was really excited. I told Todd we had to get with you, go have coffee, find out more about it, and figure out how we can help and get involved. There's such a need, especially Harrison County. So I was very excited personally whenever I found out that you were doing this program here and just sharing ideas of how we can help put on a little fundraiser and get some of the students involved. I'm excited for our new assistant, Addie.
Yes.
We've been brainstorming and talking, figuring out how we could get her and some other students involved in some nonprofits and in some fundraising efforts. So it's definitely a need for the area, and I'm excited about it.
It is, yes, a great need. And as everybody knows, with inflation and food costs going up, our budget has doubled. So yes, the help is much needed and much appreciated to grow our program.
I know when we met, you were talking about how you started in your living room, and I was asking you what was your business model, and you said, well, me.
Me and two friends. Yeah.
And so that's when we started kicking around some ideas. But I know that over these past, 11, 12 years, you've seen a lot, like you were saying, and hunger is a much bigger problem than people understand. And especially, I think with kids, it's sort of, pushed aside and you don't want to talk about it, but it needs to be talked about. And
yes, it does. And we're very fortunate in the schools that we've served that we rely on some excellent school counselors and nurses to kind of be our eyes and ears. So they really see that need and hone in on the children that need it the most. So that's how our children are chosen, which is very good. But, the elementary kids are more apt to tell you that they need it. But the middle school and junior high school are, less likely to say that they need food. So we kind of have to be on the lookout.
Right. So it's sort of discreetly done.
Exactly.
And not, I think a lot of people ask that question because I've seen in Jackson County, I've seen it to where it became more of a, family type feeding. People would all come up, but this is strictly for the students, vetted by the counselors
Correct.
within the school. And it really is not that hard to identify those kids. I've done that where I've, sort of played like I was in a food line, and you can see the kids that are certainly hungry.
Exactly. That's what they say. You can see the ones that are
Grabbing the
taking the
extra.
extra apple or the extra whatever and kind of taking it away. So that's exactly right. And then we make their bags up, and the counselor or nurse on Friday just discreetly drops it in their book bag or backpack to take home for the weekend. So it's worked out really well in that aspect.
I think when we got together and we talked, and I just threw out some ideas that we had done, that were very effective, just barbecue lunches, things like that.
Yeah.
And I was telling you about the amount of money we're raising.
It's amazing.
We're in, but it takes, bringing, kids together with adults, with some companies, with some, a little elbow grease.
Absolutely.
But it has to have that point person. And
yes, we feel like we're a fine-tuned machine. So, with some good extra fundraising, we can add more children and just get it going even better. We had some grants at one time from Walmart, and we were up to 300 to 400 children a week at one point, way before COVID.
Right.
So now, COVID came, kind of knocked us down a little bit, but we're building it back up. So it's going to be great, and a fundraiser would be very helpful.
Well, we're going to make that happen, and we've kicked around some things. I'm not sure how it'll end up looking, but I know it'll happen. And
It'll happen.
So only a good thing can come from that. Now, you said that you work through the church at Trinity, and that's generally where a lot of the programs will start, is within the church body. And
right. I mean, I needed, we grew so quickly. It grew out of my living room with my two friends. So we went to our church and got a ton of volunteers and storage space and help, and that it just grew from there. So it was a really, really beneficial and helpful to us to have that support.
Are you working with St. Paul? Is that who's
St.
doing
Paul's.
the backpack?
So over the
buddies
summer, we started with Duchess Club and Jill Taylor, of course. We started a summer feeding program, and we would do our packing through the Y, and then Duchess would actually deliver the meals to the families' houses. But on a regular basis during the school year, we pack at St. Paul's Church during the week. Duchess will come and pick up and deliver them to the school. So we definitely have a lot of manpower, and it sounds like a very similar program.
Yes. Yeah. You've got to have the manpower and the help to make it a success.
Which you've said, you have the manpower, you have the help from the church when you pack. I mean, what's the biggest need, do you think, for blessings in a bag?
We, since our costs have doubled, we would like to add 50 more children at a different school. So really the need is just to have the funds to be able to purchase. And 100% of our donations go to the food. We have no administrative cost.
It's wonderful.
Nothing, all volunteers. So people can rest assured their money is being used.
And which schools are you in right now in Harrison County?
Right now, we're only at 28th Street.
Okay.
So we are going to add Central, and then hopefully we can build back from there.
Okay. Yeah. We'll get you back on the third segment, and we're going to talk a little bit more. Appreciate you coming on this segment.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
And we're going to take a short commercial break. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, and it's early November, but not too early to talk about the Christmas season. And appreciate we having Miss Heather Abigail on our show, and Scott LeBlanc. And Scott, I'm gonna get to you in a minute because I'm not sure what to say.
It happens.
So, well, I can tell he's a character, and Heather, you do a lot of things in a lot of different areas. I've known you over the years. I was telling Amanda. She goes, well, tell me a little bit. I said, she's a go-getter. She comes up with some things, and I know today we're going to talk a little bit about Christmas, but you've also been very involved with a couple projects that caught on in Ocean Springs and become sort of a staple.
Oh, well, that's a lot. I just, I like to do things in that community. It's so helpful. So it's really easy to do things in Ocean Springs.
I know you started with, I think, the barricades, and great advertising sort of idea to get out some company names, and, of course, Comeback Coolers. We just had to, unfortunately, utilize that, and that's really come on. We'll certainly get some shows about that. What are we here to talk about today, and why do we have Scott as an elf here?
Oh, well, Scott is not just an elf. He is a pillow fighting elf.
Okay, that's important.
It is important because the pillow fighting elves are one of the most sought after things in our Discover Christmas Parade in Ocean Springs.
Okay.
So that's what we're here to talk about today. It's a parade and a toy drive. We call it a reverse parade, meaning that everybody that participates in the parade is required to bring at least a $5 unwrapped toy.
Okay.
And then we also ask the crowd to bring toys. And so we do throw things to the crowd, but in turn we have a scout group that collects toys from the crowd. And last year we collected about 1,500 toys for the children.
Okay.
So it's an interactive parade. And like I said, the pillow fighting elves have really become something where the kids now will show up at the parade with their pillows ready to fight the elves.
Now, does the elves walk down the street with the parade, and how do they decide who they're going to hit? They
do, but also they kind of play with the crowd before the parade even gets started as well. So probably about 30 minutes before, they'll kind of go and play around and have some pillow fights, and then they also walk the crowd, and they'll find a target and fight with the target.
That's what we call them.
A target.
Yeah.
I'm like listening to all this, and I'm hoping I'm not the target, but I mean,
you never know.
This is a great idea. Now, so you're using a Christmas parade to generate
toys.
I guess toys for students or kids in the local community. Are you doing this?
No, that's absolutely right. So there's 3 parade organizations in Ocean Springs. It's the Ocean Springs Carnival Association, the Elks, and Crew Unique. And what we did was the 3 of our organizations got together and formed a coalition to put this parade together. And when we collect the toys, those toys are brought to Ocean Springs Lumber and Supply, and they're divided according to what kind of toy they are. And they are collected by the Elks, Crew Unique, and the Duchess Club. So each of those organizations has toy drives for Christmas. And so they collect what they need, and then whatever's left over, they kind of split that up as well. So that's that's really the driving factor behind this parade is the toy drive. I mean, we really wanted to put something together at Christmas time for children and making sure that we're not leaving out the children who might not have Christmas otherwise.
What's the date of the Christmas parade?
It is Sunday, December 4th at 2 o'clock. So that way everybody has time to kind of go to church and then, get a bite to eat and get downtown afterwards.
Okay. So it's first week of December, and that's pretty consistent across the coast. I know a lot of the cities have that weekend. They'll be having things for Christmas parades. Now, Scott, how did you get involved as an elf? I know it was a lifelong dream that you probably had, and you saw that ad and said, that's me.
Actually, Heather had made a Facebook post a year ago, and she was asking for elves, and I saw it, and I was like, that's me.
Bucket list.
And so I commented on there, and I said, how many do you need? She said, how many can you get? I said, how many do you need?
Right.
She said, well, how many can you get? I said, how many costumes you have? So it was no problem filling the quota. So hopefully we'll get more this year.
And has the costume gotten a little more elaborate, or is this the basic?
Well, this is not actually. Should I go ahead and throw you under the bus?
Well, we have, yes, we mostly have Buddy the Elf costumes, but we are talking about adding some other elves this year. So he's kind of rolling out our new elf costume.
I wore this one today because she couldn't find the key to the locker, to the storage unit that had the Buddy the Elf costume. So I wore this one instead. But in her defense, we are talking about rolling it out to other costumes as well.
Have you ever worn this out on the town?
Actually, yes.
I did. I used to go out when I was in college. I dressed like that. It was a great little sort of attention getter. So
definitely an attention
do
getter.
what you got to get.
And he's got a great personality for it too. So
well, and you have to have fun. And Ocean Springs is a great community. They're always getting involved in doing some things. She talked about we certainly partner with the Duchess Club. With their Christmas drive that they do with the ornaments, and I think it's great that you're using them because they've got 30 women that can go out and do what you're looking to do.
We don't want to reinvent the wheel. We don't, we just want to collect the toys and let the people that have the expertise of doing it and to go do it. I mean, they work with the school systems and not to identify the proper children. So we just kind of want to collect them and then let those entities do what they do with it.
Now, what's the route of the parade? Is it?
It's not as long as the regular route in Ocean Springs, but it starts on Front Beach and it runs east down Porter, north on Washington, and then
Okay.
east again on Government Street, and it ends at Ocean Springs Lumber and the Mary C right there in that area. After the parade is over, the kids can come to Ocean Springs Lumber, and Santa's there waiting to, hear what the kids want for Christmas, and so we do that after the parade as well.
Y'all do, I guess, golf carts, a lot of golf carts.
Oh, yes.
And, I went over there the other day and it was a golf cart log jam.
Oh yeah, there's so many, but it's so easy to kind of decorate up a golf cart and get costumed up. So a lot of people really enjoy that, and so we have golf carts and walking and dancing groups and floats. So just a
Right.
little bit of everything.
I think that, living in Ocean Springs and then being able to travel the coast, I talk with a lot of the mayors and you cannot believe how much Ocean Springs is engaged in that community. It's unbelievable.
It really is.
I mean, I think the other cities would be astounded just to see, but it takes a lot of coordination between the city and, you got to block off streets, business owners have to have a plan, but it's pretty well-oiled machine.
It is. I think that, this will be my 12th parade to kind of, head up just in Ocean Springs. So I've kind of been around there, a lot to know that, but it certainly is helpful to have all those people that help. Chick Cody helped me get started with, learning how to do a parade. So
Right.
a lot of my credit for what I do goes to him.
Yeah, he's been around a little while.
He has been. Yes.
Well, we're going to have to take a short commercial break. I know you're going to come back on the next segment. If somebody wanted to help or participate, what do they do?
Oh yeah, we have a Facebook page or a website. It's discoverchristmasparade.com, and then the Facebook is the same.
Okay, we're going to take a short commercial break. We're going to be right back, so don't touch that remote. Welcome back, everyone. We now have Heather and Leslie together. And ladies, I wanted to talk to you because I think it's important that people understand that both of y'all just came up with an idea, probably multiple ideas in life. I don't think you just start with one thing. You're a giving person, and you saw a need in your local circle of influence and came up with this unique idea. So I'm going to start with you, Heather. If somebody was watching this, did you always know that you had this passion inside of you to sort of give back, or it comes?
Yeah. Well, I think since I was a child, I was raised in a way to always try to be giving and, and caring and those kind of things. And just growing up in a difficult childhood sometimes is that you have to find little ways to do things. And so I think that I do have a unique ability to find, solutions for what I would consider to be a problem. And I think through that, then I just come up with these different ideas, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't.
Right. Leslie?
Well, I agree. You just kind of have to pay attention to the need and act on it. And, like I said before, my sister was a teacher and saw this need, and we're like, okay, we can fix this. So I think if everybody just concentrates on their own little piece of the world and trying to make it better, that's all you have to do. And it's a simple thing. You just have to get it started and take that first step.
I think we were talking off camera, but it's very important, that we have to acknowledge employers allow you the time and, what they can to help further that cause. And I know you were saying with Ocean Springs Lumber, you couldn't think of a better group to work for.
I mean, they're incredible. The things that I do and the craziness that comes with it, and not only does Ocean Springs Lumber allow it, but they welcome it and they're encouraging, and they're really good community partners. So when they see something good happening, they're behind it. But
And
it is. I mean, I couldn't do it without them.
Right. And you being in real estate, I've noticed that real estate in general, brokers across the coast, it's not just your company.
You're right.
It's everywhere. They come together and they generally will have a cause that they get behind. And
yeah, you're right. I mean, we all just want to support the community because that's where we are. We want to help everybody. And there's so many good charities and causes. So you're right. A lot of the brokers, take on a lot of things, and it's great. I mean, everybody's got their thing.
Right.
But it's very good to have that support.
I know that once you do a couple events, like you said, and maybe it doesn't work like you planned or isn't working at all, it's okay to change and do something else. I mean, that's again, that effort is part of the learning process. And, you know, I'm sure that you both could probably think back on things that maybe weren't the best idea today, but it gets you to where you're at.
Right.
Absolutely. And I think that a lot of it has to do with making sure that you're, like you said, there's a lot of great organizations. So just to get involved with something that kind of tugs at your heartstrings. Not everybody has the same desires and things like that, but there is so much that anybody can get involved with. And a lot of times if you just get involved, then something will come to you and then something will spin off of it.
Right.
So,
That's right.
So
I know. And I think human nature is, you know, people want to help. So
Absolutely.
if you give them that platform and opportunity, they want to do it. So it's just, you know, it all just snowballs into a great thing.
And I think that y'all sitting here today, y'all probably going to change numbers and y'all going to probably come
Oh,
up
absolutely.
with something.
Absolutely. I already have ideas.
That's what I did.
Great. Awesome.
I never was one to reinvent the wheel, but, you know, I know that, you know, we have people like Addie that are watching this. She'll take it back, you know, to Gulfport High, and she'll talk to, you know, some of the kids there, and it'll stir that sort of interest. And I think that's what's so great about what we do. When we do it, there's these younger generation that's watching, and they're going to say, well, that didn't work. We're going to do it this way. And so each generation gets a little more efficient. And
Yeah, we probably need the high schoolers to come in and show us a better way to do it. I'm sure they could do it. Show us a better way to do everything.
Well, with all the technology, I mean, they're definitely
They're so creative and smart. Yeah.
And I think it's also important. I know you're doing a Christmas event, but it's not just seasonal that we can give. I mean, that's an important thing. This is a year-round, you know, I guess, need that both of y'all are trying to, you know, meet, whether it be yours just happens to be at Christmas, something in that holiday season. And of course, yours is year-round,
Right,
you know, with hunger issue. But people ask all the time, how do I get involved? And I'm sure you say, well, give me your number.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's really the only answer you have. You know, if you got that passion, that heart to ask a question, then, and then there is needs. And I know that both y'all are heavily entrenched in that. I wanted to ask you real quickly, if somebody wanted to know more information about your program,
Yes.
how do they contact you directly?
They can contact me directly. I'm on Facebook. It's Leslie Anderson Suit. You can message me. And then also we have a link on our church website, which is Trinity United Methodist Church in Gulfport. So they can go on either side and find out about it. But I would love to tell anybody about it. So
They don't have to go through your corporate office on the 19th floor of the big building.
of the
in
big
New
tall
York.
building and skyscraper. No.
Well, and I
We're
love too
good.
that you said that it's a volunteer. Everything is 100% volunteer based, and it's important too because I think a lot of times when people want to get involved or contribute, that's really important to them. The Comeback Coolers is the same way, but you know, people can see that they're helping their local community and kind of getting involved that way. So I just really thought that was a nice, you know, nice thing to make sure that people know.
It comforts people to know that their every penny is going toward
Right.
the good stuff, the good,
sure.
the food or the toys. Yes.
I know because you do multiple things, and we're going to just going off, but Comeback Coolers, you get a lot of volunteers that you know who to call right away when something like that happens.
Well, right, and I have an operations director now, and so now we have committees. So we have leaders of the committees, and so they kind of reach out at this point now. We have some different states involved too, so that's you know, it's a lot of logistics, but basically it's just making a call. And like you said, people want to help. They just want a way to do it. They just want, you know, to know, you know, how can I do this? Because we don't feel like that as one person we can be helpful, but what we don't realize is that we can.
Yes.
And how much comes from that.
You're
Okay.
right.
So,
And where'd you get your hat?
I don't even remember. Might have taken it from an elf.
Taking it from an elf, and like I said, it's never too early for Christmas. And you know, you know, it's sort of making me feel good the first day of November that we're talking about giving back spirit, and you know, I'm looking forward to a great holiday season where you know, a lot of things can. What in the world is going on here? What? This is crazy. I mean, where in the world? What in the world? I'm being attacked by something. I guess this is, I hope this has some meaning, but hey, y'all have just seen the kickoff, I guess, of the Christmas season. So this is Todd Trenchard saying so long. God bless. Right here at WXXC Studios.